from next time I'm not going to trust influencers heavily promoting any kind of product. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing great. This is me, Priya Sharma. I'm a makeup enthusiast and make makeup related videos on YouTube. I haven't seen any product going so much viral and being hyped so much. I have been watching influencers use this foundation left, right and center. Everyone is using it. Every single influencer is using it. So here I am to test if they are actually liking it or... So let's quickly get started. So this is the Maybelline Super Stay Lumi Matte Foundation and I have it in the shade 120 and it has an SPF of 16. So this product retails for 8.99 rupees and after discount we are getting it for somewhere around 7.99 rupees. Maybelline products are easily available, so you can get this on Nykaa, Amazon, Purple, anywhere and everywhere. It's very easy to get any Maybelline product. So this product has only 10 shades and that is Disappointment Pro Max, because 10 shades, India has a variety of shades and 10 shades is really less. And to be honest, I wasn't able to find my perfect match, and my skin tone is very common, especially when it comes to Indian skin tones. I'm able to find foundations very quickly and I wasn't. So I tried the lightest shade in the warm category of this foundation and that was too yellow for me, and then I had to go neutral, and in neutral I went for 120 and so I wasn't able to find my shade. That's disappointing. So go and try these foundations out before you buy anything for yourself, because it's very much possible आपको आपका shade ही नहीं मिले. So let's talk about the packaging. So the packaging is quite nice. We get a glass bottle right here. The cap is very beautiful lilac shade. It's very in and it definitely looks very beautiful. It has Super Stay written all over it. So we have it over here on the glass as well. It looks beautiful and it definitely looks aesthetic. लग रहा है पैसा लगाया है. So the bottle looks very good. We get a pump with this sugar hair because Fit Me doesn't, and a pump is just what we all want. So yeah, it has a pump. So overall the packaging is very beautiful. We get a glass bottle, although the glass bottle is not great for traveling. So you can just skip on this when you're traveling or just be careful. So that's about it for the packaging. Now let's see the consistency of this product. So I'm taking one pump and as you can see it is a runny foundation and it's not a very thick foundation. It's a very lightweight, very thin foundation. Feels like, you know, it's very thin like a serum, and that's very nice about it. Super lightweight. You see how beautifully it is spreading. It's super thin and the consistency is actually nice. So this is the shade. I have it in the shade 120 and it's a neutral undertone, although I go for the warm one. So yeah, this is what it looks like. It looks luminous on the hand, and now let's quickly apply it on the face and see how this performs. On this side I'll use a sponge and on this side I'll use a brush. So I'm taking one pump right now and then I'll see if I need more. Dotting it over my face. So on this half I've applied the foundation with a sponge and the coverage that I've got is sheer to medium, and you know, you can see all the visible spots that I have. So the coverage is very sheer on this side, and now I'll use a brush on this side. Again using one pump. So with the brush we got a medium coverage, and the coverage is obviously higher on the brush side. On the beauty blender side the coverage is very sheer, just like a BB cream or you know tinted moisturizer or a tinted sunscreen, the coverage is of that sort. On this side, the beauty blender side, with the brush we get good coverage, a good medium coverage. And this is what the foundation looks like. So I've seen a lot of influencers going crazy about the luminosity of this foundation, but can we see any? Because I cannot. All the influencers were raving about this foundation because of its luminosity, but I can't see any. Even after, like, I have applied this foundation like 2 seconds ago, and when the foundation is wet, it appears luminous and glowy and all, but no, अभी भी ये नहीं दिख रहा है luminous. Wet foundations luminous दिखते हैं जैसे वो set होते हैं, matte हो जाते हैं, but ये तो instant matte हो गया है, इसमें luminous कुछ भी नहीं है. You can see it's not luminous at all. So before I apply all the other products on my face, let me quickly do a transfer proof test. It has not been more than like 3 or 4 minutes since I've applied the foundation, but still let's just test this out. Because इसके बाद मैं products भी apply कर चुके होंगे और powder से set भी कर चुके होंगे, तो I want to test it right now कि अभी transfer proof है या नहीं. So I have this clean tissue. So the tissue is अलग हो गया. So I'm applying a lot of pressure. And now let's see. So there is literally no transfer, and that's a great thing because 2-4 ही मिनट हुए मुझे लगाए हुए and there is no transfer. So that's great. Now that I've applied the foundation on my face, let me quickly come back after doing full face of makeup and we'll let you guys know how other products have performed on top of this foundation. So I have used the Rare Beauty foundation on this side. One thing that I've noticed with these blushes and cream products is that you need to be very quick with blending, and you need to be very quick with the blending of these things because the Rare Beauty blush is very creamy, and generally on wet foundations you can just take your time and blend it, but on top of this foundation I feel that it is getting stuck a little bit and drying too quickly. So you need to be very quick with all your cream products on top of this. So I'm back after full face of makeup, and let me give you a close-up first. So all the cream and powder products are sitting on top of the foundation very beautifully. I haven't faced any issues with the foundation, but a small thing with the blush. So what I observed with this foundation is that when I applied the Rare Beauty blush, so I have been using that blush since a long time, so I know how it performs. So on top of any wet foundation, it blends very beautifully, and you can take as much time as you want to blend it, and it will blend very smoothly and very easily. But on top of this foundation, since this is a matte formula, it was drying down faster, and if I wouldn't have blended it quickly, it would have become patchy. Now coming to the powder products, the powder products were able to sit very beautifully on top of the foundation, and it is very easy to apply powder products on matte formula because matte formula tends to create that very smooth and powdery matte sort of a base to work on. So powder products work very nicely over matte formulation, especially this one. This foundation is very lightweight, like I do not feel I have a heavy base on. And now talking about the coverage of the foundation, so if you apply one layer, the coverage is sheer, and then you can build it up. In 2 layers you get a medium coverage. So yeah, this is a buildable foundation, but the coverage is somewhere sheer to medium. That also depends on the beauty tool that you're using for application. The sponges give a sheer coverage, so if you are looking for a very tint-like coverage, very just barely there, you have a good skin and you just need that slightest coverage, then you can go for a beauty blender with this foundation. But if you want a medium coverage, you want to hide some of your imperfections, then you can definitely use a brush to get that nice coverage. For the oxidization test, let me quickly apply it over here, and later on I will compare it with this swatch if the foundation has oxidized or not. Let's see if this foundation has fragrance. So this foundation definitely has fragrance to it, but it's not something that will bug you a lot. And now let me zoom you guys in so that you can look into the details a little more deeply. So yeah, up close and personal, you are very zoomed into my face right now. But yeah, let me show you. So let's see if this foundation is cakey or not. So you can see it doesn't look cakey at all. The foundation is very lightweight and I just don't feel that it's cakey. It is super thin and lightweight. So it's not cakey. It's not caking up anywhere. Now moving on to the fine lines. So the foundation hasn't settled into my fine lines at all, and that's very rare because generally foundations do settle into my fine lines because I go for the hydrating ones, and this is a matte formulation, but still it has not settled into my fine lines at all. So that's great. So there is no settling at all. And now we are checking if it emphasizes texture or pores. No, it does not emphasize the pores and texture, but it has also not provided any hydration to my face. Keeping in mind that the name is Lumi Matte, I was expecting it to be at least a little hydrating, but that's not the case. So this foundation has powdery touch to it. It is not hydrating kind of foundation. Like when you slightly powder a hydrating foundation, it's still tacky and sticky, and this one, it's a matte foundation. It's a purely matte foundation, and when the matte foundations dry down and you powder them, they just feel, the skin feels slightly powdery, and that's what I feel right now. So I feel the skin is slightly powdery and it does not provide any kind of hydration to the face. You need to, prep your skin nicely. If you don't prep your skin properly, it might just, emphasize those dry patches slightly more. Although it doesn't emphasize, but अगर skin बिल्कुल ही dehydrated है और patches बहुत ही flaky है, then foundation भी क्या कर लेगा उसमें. You need to take care of your skin. So the bottom line is that this foundation is not hydrating at all. It is purely matte foundation. And after full face of makeup, let me quickly show you if it transfers or not. So it doesn't. Starting में भी नहीं हुआ था, and अब तो powder भी हो चुका है, set हो चुका है foundation. So yeah, it doesn't transfer at all. So I know all the influencers have hyped it so much, and ring light के आगे ना सारी foundations अच्छे लगते हैं. Skin looks very smooth when you have that much light on your face. So today I'm going to show you this foundation in natural light, like in the sunlight. There's not a lot of sunlight, but let's see जितना भी दिखता है. So I'll turn off the ring light and all the lights, and I'll show you in the natural lighting. Like I'll go outside and show you how the foundation looks, so you get a better idea of how this actually looks. जब आप wear करेंगे इसे तब कैसा दिखेगा? So let's quickly do that. So this is what it looks like in the normal room lighting. जो भी आपके घर में रूम होगा उसमें जैसी लाइट्स होती हैं वैसा है. So I do not have a lot of bright lights in my room. Normal lights है. So this is what the foundation looks like in that kind of lighting. Now let's quickly go outside and see how it looks in the natural lighting. So this is how the foundation looks in the natural lighting. So you can look at it closely. It looks quite nice, and I think the best lighting is the natural light. And now we're back to the normal room lighting, and this is what the foundation looks like in the normal lighting of the room. And now I'll show you how it looks in the ring light. So we are moving towards the end of this video, and now let's see if the foundation has oxidized or not. So taking the foundation now. So you can see how this one is just slightly fairer as compared to this one. This has just blended into my skin color, but the foundation is right here, and it definitely has oxidized 1 to 2 tones. So you need to keep this in mind while buying the foundation. I personally do not like the foundations that oxidize because it makes buying a task, because you have to swatch it, wait for it to oxidize, then match your color, see if it works for you or not. I just feel that the foundation that oxidizes, it's a task to match your shade, and find a good match for yourself, it's a task. Now I have the Maybelline Lumi Matte foundation, I have the Super Stay, and I also have the Fit Me foundation. So let's compare all the 3 foundations. So starting with the Lumi Matte foundation, let me quickly swatch it again. So this is the swatch of the Lumi Matte foundation. Now we'll swatch the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. I am in the shade 120 in the Super Stay Lumi Matte Foundation, and now in the Maybelline's OG Super Stay Foundation, the 24-hour full coverage one. I'm again in the shade 120 Classic Ivory, and this foundation is like my perfect match, and this matches my skin tone like a glove. This was my favorite foundation back in the days. I feel that this foundation is on the slightly fairer side. I don't feel that this is my perfect match. I literally tried to match myself, but I just wasn't able to find my shade. I like my foundations to be warm. This is neutral because the fairest warm shade was very yellow for my preference, so I didn't go for that. I went for the neutral instead. Now putting the Super Stay Foundation. It's an old bottle, so I feel the foundation is thick now. This formulation was actually slightly on the thicker side. So this is what the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation looks like. The color is very near to each other. Like the shade of both the foundations are very near, but this one is slightly darker and it has obviously more coverage, and this one also oxidizes. It darkens and becomes like one shade darker maybe. So yeah, this is darker as compared to this one. And now moving on to the Fit Me foundation. So I bought this one online, so this one is also not that perfect kind of match for me, but still I use this because you know it works. थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे I make the foundations work, इतना issue नहीं होता है, but when you get that perfect match of foundation, the feeling is great. So this is the Fit Me foundation. I have the Fit Me in the shade 128, and yes, it's darker than my complexion. So this is what all the three foundation looks like. The Fit Me one does not oxidize, and then these two definitely oxidize. So you need to keep this thing in mind when you buy this. Now let me quickly compare all the three foundations since I have them and I've used all the three like anything. So talking about the Super Stay foundations. So this foundation has slightly thicker consistency for my liking. I prefer very thin and liquidy foundations. Also this is a very old one now, so तब thick foundations ही चलते थे, and now it's a trend that the foundation should be lightweight and thin and runny. So yeah, this is a thick foundation. If you're planning to buy any of these, this is thick. It has good coverage, but you need to prep your skin really very well if you have dry skin, because this is slightly on the drier side. So just prep your skin very nicely. So now I'll not keep you guys waiting and I'll talk about the Lumi Matte foundation. So this one is on the thinner side. I love this about every foundation. If my foundation is thin and lightweight, I love it. But if you're someone who has dry skin type, you need to prep your skin very nicely. Otherwise, you'll feel that, you know, skin is drying slightly, very slightly. But yeah, it's fine. And I just do not feel that magic in this foundation. Like, it was so overhyped, and now I've used it and I do not feel that it has anything very great out of the box or something like that. I just feel that this is thick and it has good coverage, but it was very drying for me. And now I have this variant which is thin and it is not that drying. So that's the only difference I feel that this has from this. So I do not feel that it's just amazing or something. When you buy a new bottle of foundation, you're all head over heels for it, and I am always very excited for a new foundation. और जब हम न्यू फाउंडेशन लेते हैं हम इतने क्रेजी हो जाते हैं, हमें उसके फ्लॉज भी नहीं दिखते हैं. बट जब मैंने यूज़ करा, आई हैड दिस थिंग इन माइंड कि बहुत अच्छा होगा, इसकी हाइप कितनी ज़्यादा है. एंड देन व्हेन आई यूज्ड इट, आई वाज लाइक, I mean, it does work. I'm not disappointed, but just it didn't match the hype that was being created around it. So yeah. Now moving towards the Fit Me foundation. I feel this is the best affordable foundation one can get. Although it says matte, it gives hydration to the face. I do not feel the need to, you know, put a moisturizer on after foundation. It does not make you feel dry or your skin is just thirsty, nothing like that. It is great. It blends very beautifully. We also have a great shade range in this. So yeah, if you're looking for a good foundation, especially from Maybelline, this is the best one. I love it. And now it's your choice. Whichever suits your preference, go for that. So it's been like 4-5 minutes since we've applied this, and you can see how much all the foundations have oxidized. So this one definitely has, this one also has oxidized, this one hasn't at all. So the Fit Me 128 is obviously the darkest of them all because वो बहुत ही dark shade है. But comparing the Lumi Matte and the Super Stay is darker, although the shade number is 120 of both of them. But this one oxidized a lot more as compared to the Lumi Matte, which has also oxidized. So you can check your shade and buy it accordingly. So now it's time for the final verdict. So this foundation looks and feels nice. It doesn't settle into the fine lines. That's a very nice plus about this. But you do not buy a foundation only on that basis. This is a nice foundation, no doubt, but I think this is very, very overhyped. It was just, you know, the brand just hyped it so much that the foundation was not able to meet the expectations. If they wouldn't have hyped it that much, I would have liked it, but I don't know why when I used it I was just disappointed. Although the foundation is just fine, it is a fine formulation, like there is nothing new to it. I just don't feel it. Like, why were they hyping it so much? See, the foundation is nice, like I love the full face, but there is nothing new to it. There are thousands of foundation in the makeup industry right now, and there is nothing new in this one. So you can go for any foundation. Don't run after what influencers are saying. They are sometimes paid to do whatever they are doing, and I am not paid to say anything because I bought it with my own money. So yeah, these are all my real views, and I just feel this product is just very overhyped. So yeah, this is it for the video. If you like the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and please do subscribe. इतने real reviews के बाद भी subscribe तो करो यार.